All right. Hey, guys, it's Kelly Williams with The Kelly Williams Show in your home TV. And we're live at Radio Row in New Orleans, Louisiana. And it has been really a crazy busy day with all kind of amazing guests. Right now, I have Jack Adler. He's the founder of Out2Win. He connects athletes to nationally renowned brands. Okay, that's a very cool thing to be in.
Yeah, you make it sound cool too.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Jack, where are you from?
From Philadelphia, so I'm
Wow.
extra excited for this weekend.
I bet you
Yeah.
are. Yeah. Do you have a prediction of the score?
I mean, that's unfair to ask me. I might be a little biased.
That's true. I wasn't thinking. So, when did you're really young.
Yeah.
So how long have you been kind of involved with promotions and athletes and things like this?
Yeah, so I actually started the business while I was a student at Syracuse University,
Very cool.
and I graduated last year. So
What?
I'm newly out of school.
He's a baby. I love it.
But
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
so 2021 name, image, and likeness legislation was passed, and
Yeah.
I launched Out2Win to help my peers, students that I was in class with,
Yeah.
athletes that I was in class with,
Yes.
generate deals with local businesses and brands.
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to ask you a quick question. What do you think? You're coming from that side of it. What do you think the general feeling has been about paying college athletes? Are you seeing a positive side and negative?
Yeah, I would
side
say
of
a
it?
combination of
Yeah.
excitement and confusion.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm happy to dive into those because I know there's a high level
Yes.
words like excitement, or because this opportunity never existed before. It's a new way to connect with
Yeah.
college campuses in a much more
A
engaged
whole new
fashion.
world.
Whole new world. Confusion because there are regulations around it that brands are scared of because they don't really know what they can and can't do. So there's a little bit of confusion, and I'm hoping that a lot of that gets cleared up because, of course, we're still in its infancy
Exactly.
of NIL. So I think that confusion starts to dwindle down and the excitement starts to pick up more and more.
Well, and there's been so much, swirling around all of this NIL stuff since it
Yeah.
started. What can you give us a little bit of background right here about what's some of the rules and things that are kind of confusing or that brands might be scared of?
Well, yeah. So you can't wear a school's licensing in a partnership unless a brand has paid additional compensation directly to the school for it. So
Oh my
let's just say,
goodness.
I mean, I'm looking at Travis Hunter, the Travis Hunter show over here.
Yeah.
Let's just say you partner with Travis Hunter. He can't wear Colorado logos or have anything to do with Colorado
Wow.
unless that brand has partnered with Colorado as well. So,
Wow.
so there's I guess that's not necessarily confusion. That's more so just a regulation that brands have to work around because for the 99% of athletes, a lot of their recognition comes from that logo, comes from that association with the school.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy to think about because
Yeah.
it's almost like all of a sudden you're moving from college to a pro situation there
Yeah.
without being able to represent your school probably on most of the times.
Yeah. And I guess on top of that, there's also, confusion around in cases like what is this athlete's value with or without their school associated with them. Yeah, he plays basketball at Clemson. What if he's not necessarily associating with basketball at Clemson in that piece of content within the partnership? So brands just have, confusion around how they should value the athlete with or without that association with the branding.
That's amazing. So how many clients do you work with?
Yeah.
right now?
So to give a little bit more of the origin story. So after 2.5 years of building the agency, we pivoted to build a tech that streamlines the way brands are discovering and analyzing athletes. It's a filterable database of 200,000 plus college athletes with social media profiles, taking a deep dive into the past brands they've worked with and how they performed, their audience demographics, who they're reaching on social.
Amazing.
And in 6 months since launching that product, we have 40 clients that we're working with.
That's a congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. What and one of my questions was, how do you think now you're just coming out of school, so you're in the middle of all this AI stuff,
Yeah.
the NIL thing happened. I mean, you're kind of really thrown into the middle of it, which is why you started your brand.
Yeah.
What do you think the AI now generation and all of these things, how is that benefiting all of this branding awareness and things that are giving these players more access and better visibility?
Well, I think it's benefiting everyone within business from like a workflow perspective because you can be more efficient
Yeah.
and get more work done in less time. Hypothetically, if you're an athlete, you can sit down and type in "help me out with a content calendar for the week," and it does it for you. It's
Yeah.
a it's an assistant for you. So I do think just from like the standpoint of athletes having limited time because they're students, they're athletes, they're doing a million things at once. They can find ways now to be more efficient with their time and get more done. So that I'm excited about, and of course, as a business owner myself, I can stay more lean as a startup where certain things can get done faster with less overhead from other team members.
Exactly. Which, of course, he's growing up with us. We didn't have that. So
Yeah.
it was, how much money do we have? Where do we have to spend it? Now you have so much technology that, of course, bypasses so many things that y'all are able to do.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful in that area.
We're also just in such the early stages of it that we
Yeah.
don't even know what that
No.
even will eventually mean.
Amazing. I want to ask you this because I think as as a mom and a wife of a former pro quarterback, from the 80s, I want to ask you these. So, of course, not all of these college athletes are paid. Not everybody gets offers like this. How many, what is the average um, at each school or each big school, I guess, that you're seeing or getting these offers?
Well, yeah. So I guess these offers, of course, has a wide range to it because you have athletes that are getting paid millions of dollars in
Yeah.
some cases to come play at a top football program in the country.
Yeah.
But there are 500,000 athletes in the country, and a lot of those deals that aren't catching the headlines are, hey, here's free product in return for promoting my product on social media,
Yeah,
and you
which
can
is
earn
great.
commission for generating sales. So
Yeah.
as a brand, you're paying for what you get. As an athlete, you're making what you earn.
Yeah.
So I do think that there are opportunities for athletes at scale. Like I'm talking about every single athlete that falls under. Unfortunately, international athletes have regulations around whether or not they're allowed to take part in NIL deals.
Wow.
But as a majority of athletes have the opportunity now to prove themselves
Yeah.
in partnerships with any brand. If they say, "Hey, give me your product and I'll go post it and give me commission on the sales I generate." So what that's doing is putting the ball in the court of the athlete to go find brands that align with them authentically, and then they can go build larger partnerships with them by proving themselves.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Because it is a very proactive business.
Yeah.
Okay, so Out2Win, which I love the name
Thank
of your
you.
company.
Thank you.
Love that.
Yeah, Out2Win, baby.
Love it. Okay, so tell us kind of what your daily thing is. What do you do with athletes? How are you working with them, and how are y'all helping build brands and awareness and things like this?
Yeah, so within our technology, we partner with brands, agencies, and universities. With universities, we partner with them to help them educate their own athletes about to lean in more intentionally to their social data to say, oh, cool, my audience has 20% of them have interest in travel. Let's go find a travel company to partner up with, and so on. So that's how we're working with many universities. And then on the brand side, we're working with them to help them build marketing campaigns at scale. So, for example, Accelerator Active Energy, they're a beverage brand that partnered with Travis Kelce, Olivia Dunn. Now they're building a college ambassador program around the country, trying to drive foot traffic to the retail stores that they have that are near campuses.
So smart.
So they use our platform to go find the athletes who have the most influence around those certain areas that will drive foot traffic to those stores.
Amazing. What are you seeing when you're working, since you're fresh out of college? So you started this your sophomore year at college. What are you seeing some of the positive effects of starting this company and really working with these athletes and these friends of yours? What are some positive things that you're seeing that are really happening
within the space of NIL? Well, I think that as we get further into the industry, more brands are recognizing the opportunity that exists, not only to reach college campus demographics, but just to reach, honestly, Gen Z as a whole. So many brands are now starting to pivot or starting to allocate real budget to this opportunity.
Yeah.
And of course, for a business like mine that focuses in the space, that's exciting. But also for the empowerment of athletes, like the question that you asked about, like how many athletes really do get deals. It's dependent on like how many brands see the opportunity as something worth diving into.
Yeah.
So the more that the space is evolving, the more brands we're seeing open up their doors to this possibility of partnering with college athletes. And I think that's only going to keep increasing as the space keeps proving itself.
I completely agree. Where do you see this all moving in the next, I don't even want to say 5 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like it's just going, 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 and it's
Yeah.
on a nonstop movement
Well,
right now.
Yeah, well, I'll say where I see this going in terms of the entire sports marketing industry. To date, the superstars of sports. Let's refer to Tom Brady. Let's
Yeah.
refer to, uh, you know, uh, LeBron James. They're
Yeah.
like kind of, we consider them almost like Hollywood characters in a way. They take part in movies. They're, you know, today's age, the era that we're evolving towards is the creator economy. These
Yes.
athletes are content creators. They're influencers, and that will only continue to become more prevalent as the new era of athletes come into pro sports.
Yeah.
So I think where we're heading is there's going to be an entire influencer marketing ecosystem within sports. And right now, we consider it endorsement deals, but start like over the coming 3 to 5 years, it's going to be really like influencer marketing deals that brands are spending budget to partner with athletes as content creators and influencers.
Absolutely. One thing that I think people always wonder about, especially in this kind of market that is now coming about, kind of hit everybody so quickly once NIL changed its rules. Do you see companies aiming younger and younger athletes for things? I mean, you hear about these sixth graders that coaches are already looking at. I mean, it's kind of insane, but everybody wants the next big thing and the next kid, and they want to groom them. And do you see it kind of going that way for branding?
I do, and I think that's also happening because athletes, even at younger ages, do have influence.
Yeah.
So if you can build invest in someone at an early age and grow a long-term, authentic partnership with them, it's a big opportunity. So yeah, we are seeing that a lot, and I think that will continue to increase. I hope that there are some limits to it.
I do too.
Because of course
He's
there's
3.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't want to see that start happening. However, I do think that there's a big opportunity that exists with high school athletes that are beginning to build really strong brands for themselves. They deserve to cash in on that as well.
Absolutely. What do you think has been what are do you see any cons of like pros and cons? Do you see anything negative that you could foresee that could happen with all of this branding stuff? Do you see any of that?
Well, I think that honestly, this is like social media in general, but it does create like just from like a mental health capacity now, talking more about like the deep side of it. It creates a whole lot of issues, whether it's like locker room trouble from like athletes getting, maybe it's made fun of by their teammates for putting themselves out there on social media. But I think a lot of things within the landscape are starting to become more normalized.
Yeah.
Like to date, a lot of athletes maybe haven't been as vocal on social media because they don't want to impact, the locker room. And I mean, maybe for better or for worse, we're seeing that kind of go out the door, it seems, and have it become more normalized. And then I think that just over the course of the next several years, as all this stuff becomes more just, again, the norm, we're going to see more athletes taking ownership of the narrative and the story that goes out on their team and their individual career.
Yeah. Do you see this dividing locker rooms at all?
Well, yeah.
And that's one of my concerns.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to in a way. I mean, we've seen it a little bit in as I mentioned, I'm a huge Eagles fan. And earlier this season, there was news that came out. This was from media, so not necessarily social media, but that AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts had some issues, and it came out from the locker room. Like there are certain things that just need to stay in the locker room, and social media and just media in general. It can definitely lead to locker rooms dividing, but it's also gonna. I mean, look at what happened to the Eagles. That adversity then leads to a team coming together.
Absolutely.
So maybe there's some positives that can come out of it as well.
Absolutely. What do you think has been one of the biggest pros and best things that's happening with all of this that now that you're becoming a really big part of with your company? What's one of the best things that's happening, you think?
The best thing that's happening is that athletes are being empowered to build a brand, a business for themselves. They never were previously allowed to do it.
No.
So, I mentioned I was an entrepreneurship major at Syracuse.
Oh, wow.
I was working with athletes who were also entrepreneurship majors that to help them find businesses to build their brand.
Look at you.
But before this, these entrepreneurship major athletes, they couldn't build a business for themselves.
Yeah.
It was against legislation. So
Wow.
so now like athletes are being empowered to develop themselves not only as athletes but as business people. And I think that's such a big opportunity from a career development perspective.
Yeah.
Athletes are learning so much at such a young age as they deserve to be because of the stage that they're on, the spotlight they have.
Absolutely. What is one piece of advice you would give other young entrepreneurs that are really looking to do something big or be successful in a certain area, and they're facing a lot of things they have to overcome because it's hard to be an
it
entrepreneur.
is.
We know that.
Yeah.
So what would be your piece of advice to them?
I mean, easier said than done, but to throw yourself into the fire, because I by no means had it all figured out when I launched this agency in 2021. And over the course of 3 years, we learned and we failed and we developed and pivoted. So I think just like the best way to learn is by going and starting and doing it, and you
Yeah.
figure it out along the way. But that's, again, easier said than done. It takes a whole lot of discipline to keep going when things aren't going your way. But I think if you're the type of person that's able to do that, you'll be successful, like one way or another.
Absolutely. Did you pick a couple of years ago? Did you picture yourself promoting your business on Radio Row and doing all the things that you're able to do right now?
I definitely did not. I definitely did not. This is like an unbelievable experience, and then also just an opportunity to reflect on how far we've come as a business.
So
It's
good.
really exciting.
Really exciting. We're real proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
everything. Out2Win. How do people find you and follow you and maybe contact you if they're interested in your business helping them?
Yeah, well, our website is Out2Win. Over the QR code, I'll put it out2win.io. And then our Instagram is @Out2Win, and you can contact me at my email is jack@Out2Win.io. So
Awesome.
I'm always open to connecting with people that, whether it is like answering questions from entrepreneurs or athletes or brands, anyone. Like I love connecting with like-minded people.
Absolutely. Well, we're really proud of you and very excited for you. I think you're going to be a huge hit with this company and do some extraordinary things and really help people. So good for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, so we have a little gift for you.
No way.
Yeah, it's a power bank. How cool is this?
Wow.
Yeah, from our sponsor, Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events. There you go.
Look at that.
And then look at the other side.
The Kelly Williams Show. Wow.
That's right.
Very cool. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Jack, thank you so much. Good luck with everything. And we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later with more interviews right here live at Radio Row. See you later.
See ya.